I never want to learn.
Yeah,
It's
yeah, yeah,
wow, yeah, it's
yeah.
crazy.
That's a mess. That's a
Yeah,
mess.
it is. It is. It's a
Yeah.
shame. It's a
So,
shame.
is there any way she can put this thing on auto pay just for the future?
Oh, well, uh, Greg doesn't
Hope so.
believe in credit cards. Yes, it's
Oh,
$10. She should put it on her account. I mean, him and they're cash, 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 cash. You know,
mm,
so I don't
oh,
know. I don't know. That's what
yeah,
should be done. Let's do auto pay. What company doesn't have auto pay? You
yeah,
know,
yeah,
so that doesn't ever happen again.
yeah.
But now, she misses work. He misses work to go down on Thursday at 1 o'clock. For this hearing, which is ridiculous. Uh,
Yeah,
so,
yeah,
but it'll be what it's going to be. Hey, maybe they have to learn that tough lesson. My
yeah,
brother has the money. She doesn't. I mean, she
yeah.
doesn't, she works her ass off cutting meat every day. And, she might bring home 200, $250 a week. That's it
Wow,
for killing
wow.
herself.
Is there not anything else that she could do?
Her problem is she's a convicted felon
Oh, that's right, because of the car accident.
because of the car, the DUI. And when she puts
Yeah,
that on, she's brilliant. She's really bright. She has a big computer background, bookkeeping, and all this. So she owned
yeah.
her own travel agency and so forth. She's got
Right.
some skills, but again,
Did
the
she
out
look? Did she look into doing bookkeeping for people? Because this is an
yeah,
online business that you could do.
that's exactly the new job she wants to start
Oh,
this
good. Oh,
year.
good. Oh,
She's
good.
doing the books for her son's magazine that he
Yeah,
just bought
yeah.
for him. And now this kind of opened that door to do small businesses, do their bookkeeping. She's very good
Yeah,
at
because nobody's gonna care if got a felony for that.
it.
It's a felony for manslaughter, right? Not not for theft or something like that. Yeah, okay, and all right. So you were drinking, you had a drinking problem. Fine, it doesn't make any difference to how you can do my books. And if you're good at doing this, there's a lot of people that do want private accountants to do their books. So
Yeah. Yeah.
big market for it.
Exactly. And this way, if she's self-employed, she doesn't have to fill out an application and reveal anything.
Exactly,
If you
exactly,
Google, if you
exactly.
Google her
And
name,
I mean, if you exactly,
and you'll
exactly.
see what happened. You'll see that she was in prison and,
Right, right. No, stay away from jobs. Be in your own business, and nobody cares. Nobody asks you what you want to do. So and she understands incorporate your business, and if something goes wrong, you incorporate in a state like Delaware or Nevada, Wyoming, or whatever, any of these states, and they don't have personal liability laws. Not that
right.
she has assets, but still, you can protect yourself
Yeah,
against
absolutely. Even an
against stuff.
LLC instead of incorporating, it'll give
But that's
her.
what I mean, LLC. Yeah, yeah. You're still incorporating, it's just different types of incorporation. Right. Right. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll see. But she's, hot on the trail. Just said, I keep telling her, relax, relax, relax. Just it'll be what it's going to be. I mean, look at
Pacing.
Diane
Pacing.
flew through 14. We struggled to get through three with Chelsea, but they were
Right.
both great sessions. So it is what it is.
Right. Right.
Yeah,
Right. And but what is exciting is that she is immersing into it.
yeah, absolutely. That's why I
Right.
said,
And you're talking about, on Zoom going through them, not how long people did to do the takeaways on it. We don't know how long Chelsea did on that. Didn't
correct.
sound like she was spending hours on it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, this
Yeah,
is fabulous. But the immersion, she's thinking about stuff. She's
yeah.
thinking about stuff. How,
I told
how is her
Cheryl, I
drinking
think if
now?
I know Cheryl, she's going to have a lot to go over.
Fantastic.
So,
Uh, how is her drinking now? Hello, Beena. You here? Beena?
Yes, I'm here and I'm sorry I fell asleep again.
Oh,
Sorry.
oh,
oh,
honey.
good. Oh, good. Oh, good. Oh, good. Oh, I love it when you fall asleep. No, please, it's not a problem. Not a problem. Just send Janelle a note, and she was
No,
just keen for some to hear
uh,
from you. So
I'm
just
really
message.
sorry because same
Oh,
Oh,
time
please don't.
happened
Please don't.
again.
Please.
I was
Please don't
listening.
be, Beena. It's good.
There's
It's
no
good.
reason to be sorry, honey. None.
Yeah, yeah.
Zero.
Please don't be. Please don't be. Yeah, it's important. It's important that you sleep, Sweetie. You know,
It's more
Uh,
what
it's
more
important. It's
important.
important. Yeah,
and
it's appropriate.
exactly same time, same amount of time, like 40 minutes. I was dozed off anyway.
Interesting. Interesting.
Power,
Yeah.
we call that
Also, you know, it's
napping. Power napping. Yeah.
yeah.
Exactly.
Well, I think it's also related to the COVID, by the way. It's
Uh,
one I've seen it mentioned. That's one of those like the smell and taste. It's one of these after effects that it affects your sleeping patterns. So
I'm struggling with my sleeping pattern. Last night again, I watched a movie for 2 hours because I was not able to sleep. So I was
yeah.
watching a movie. What to do?
mm, mm.
And
I'm also I listen to my story and then I put it on a little timer to switch itself off. You know, hopefully I'm falling asleep and then it doesn't play too long. So I put 15 minutes,
Mm-hmm. And then you're out. Mm-hmm.
15 minutes again,
Yeah.
15.
I
Keep
keep
adding.
the timer on. Otherwise, yeah.
Yeah,
I,
I
yeah,
tried
yeah.
to work
Well,
on
I have
my
the music playing too to help me.
well,
trying to work on my course, but yeah, in the night it was horrible.
no.
Yeah.
So I like no, nothing is actually coming. And then I said, okay. So I just left. And it is interesting, Sue, as you were mentioning about codependency. I was making some notes in my rough notes about codependency.
Hmm.
Exact same time. That was
Isn't
really
that something? Yeah.
yeah, really amazing. I was making notes about that, and you were mentioning that, and I was like, wow, how this works.
I'm,
Cheryl,
I'm very much looking for. Yeah. Okay. So, sorry, Bina. Go ahead.
no, please, you were saying that I will share later.
I was just saying I was very much looking forward to dealing with Cheryl. She really touched my heart.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly, and I was sharing with Sil that almost towards the end, I saw her kind of biting her lip a bit, and she was a bit trying to control something going on, maybe in the background, or maybe sometimes it is
Emotional
overwhelming.
surge.
Yeah, we take it for granted that whatever we are talking is quite normal for us. Sometimes we say that, oh, we need more, but for people outside this, it is like, what's going on there, like what they are
Yeah.
actually talking. It's a new language.
Yeah. And that's interesting that you picked up because evidently my brother must have been listening because he asked her, what was that all about? So either she sensed it or saw him perhaps there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, because
Very perceptive. Good
Yeah.
for you. Yeah.
I also feel that in the same way she touched us, she was touched by us.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
You know, that biting the lip, controlling the emotion a bit. I think she was very overwhelmed at the opportunity.
yes, yeah,
She does this pursing of her lips. Like
Yeah.
it's
yeah, but
really,
it is normal.
huh?
Yeah, it is normal, it is usual, like regularly it was happening, but that was a very particular movement she made a face, and I was like, okay, yeah, that was something different. Yes, she made that, and I was observing that too.
Mm,
It's a very strong energy from her, very strong energy.
she's
You can feel.
powerful. She
Oh God,
she she's got some power underneath. It's
yes,
just misdirected, misaligned, misused, it's inappropriate, but it's there. It's just has to be harnessed and used in a better way in my
yeah,
books. Because she's got, none of my siblings can see her past her drinking issues and what she did to the family during that time, and that she's a loud mouth and she's a big mouth and so forth. And oh, here she's pulling it up. Cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not putting the sound on. I'm just gonna put the sound off.
Yeah.
This is just Bina said very much at the end. Actually, Bina, you also pointed out to me at the time that she was kind of breathing a bit harder.
oh yes,
So
heavy
is that
breathing.
what you meant? That lip there, the
Yes, see that, And then she is also heavy breathing. She's trying to control her
Turn
breathing.
it on. I want to hear what it was about, because now I remember that.
Oh,
Yeah.
hold on. Then I've got to change the volume here.
Yeah. Was that the mouth you saw, B?
Yes, and one more time also. And then the heavy breathing. She was trying to control her breathing.
Yeah, she has I think her weight is absolutely a factor, but yeah, but it's deeper than just her weight that doesn't allow her. She breathes heavy a lot.
Mhm.
What's the cone for?
It's just the logo for this the software
Video player. Yeah.
video, yeah, whatever it's called. It's getting to the very end here. We're talking about the schedule. Come on.
Yes, you can see her.
Yeah, now
There. But
she's going.
I'm not hearing the sound. I'm hearing no sound for some reason. I don't know why. Oh, my amplifier's off. That's why. Feel free to involve Greg as much or as little as you like. I do always find it very useful and very potent to involve your partner in when you're doing something. Was that it, Beena? That grimace?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. See, look, there you go.
The pursed lips. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this was, we were talking about involving Greg, and she's like, I don't know so much if that's possible.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
I think if you look, I probably had an expression then as
Otherwise,
well.
you shift and they don't, and it can be a problem. Right. See, I said you shift and they don't.
Yeah. And her
That's a very big
interpretation
thing.
is I get
Yeah,
fixed.
that's a big interpretation. Yeah.
Yeah. I get fixed and you stay broken. It's a problem.
That's a
how
big
she
difference.
said it.
Big difference. Yeah.
Big difference.
It's a big deal. It's a big deal. It's a very big deal. Yeah. All right. Brilliant. Bye-bye, Cheryl.
Yeah.
We'll see you
Okay.
soon.
Yeah. Okay. Like that's never going to happen.
Yeah.
You don't know. You don't know. I know.
You don't know.
You
But
know,
she did say
I just love her. I
she
just
did
love her.
she did say something to him, which I give her credit for. She could have just said,
Yeah.
"Oh, I know how that's going to turn out," or
Her, her
it just,
earnestness, her innocence, and her total lack of knowing how to be.
yeah.
She has no clue how to be.
Mm-hmm.
No clue. She's completely lost in how to be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because
You
she's
think,
trying.
this is a mature woman, she's not a chicken anymore, she's not a child. But all her life, she doesn't know how to be. Every single, look at that range of expression on her faces. She's trying to figure out, how should I be? How should I be? What's the right way to be here? She doesn't know. She's always at a loss of how to be. And this is part of the drinking. Doesn't know how to be.
Nothing she ever does is right, because again, she has never been able to, I think for herself, even though she thinks about things. Again, there are those beliefs, there are those feelings that are all intertwined and screwing her up, completely, because she's never made appropriate choices for herself.
Yeah.
No,
And how come Greg doesn't want to, share in terms of income? How come he's basically? I'm assuming she has to work because of his. Is he just hoard the money? What?
yeah, that's his control. That's part of the control piece that he has over her.
Oh, okay.
He
So
never, he was so angry at what happened and how it almost took their home, from that accident and everything. He never went to see her, spoke to her the whole time she was in prison. And this is how he demonstrates his anger. Passive aggressive. You want, like, she'll beg. She smokes cigarettes like crazy and they're expensive. When she wasn't working or couldn't work or whatever the reason was, she'd say, "Can I have money for a pack of cigarettes? And I need a can of hairspray." Literally, I mean, and this is my brother.
Yeah.
Peels off slowly $1 bills at it. And he has lots of money, trust me. He's a
Yeah,
workaholic. He's so talented and so creative. What he builds and designs is over the top. And he has all these bank accounts, that her name's not on them. Uh, and so he peels off just like, so he'll give her $4 or something. He goes, "Is that enough?" I'm like, really, if I ever went
yeah,
away, even though I have my own money, Bill will say, here's a couple $100. Make sure you have
yeah,
cash on you. Make sure that,
yeah, yeah.
it's
Yeah, come
just,
on. You're in a partnership for heaven's sake. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I
That's
think
it. Now, if
yeah.
you didn't even go and visit her, how come they still together?
She ended up, getting involved with a cook at one of the clubs she used to go to. And she spoke to this guy, I guess, all the time. That she knew him because it was a club she used to attend, like Republican
Mm.
club or Democratic club or whatever the club it was. And
Oh,
she,
not like a nightclub.
no, no,
Well, when you say club like that, okay,
club,
yeah,
a
yeah.
drinking club. It's a drinking club,
Ah, ah,
but
ah,
not with
ah.
dancing and all that. Nightclub to me is dancing.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah. All right.
she gets very friendly with this guy, and then she moves after she was out of jail and on house arrest. She moved in with him, and
Oh,
uh, so finally, my brother stood up and said, "It's me or him. Make a choice." And that's the
but
first time he ever
that doesn't
really,
really make sense.
yeah, he didn't want her the whole time, but now that
Right,
she is
right.
potentially going to be with someone else.
You can't choose anybody else. That's an implication that you don't want me, and you can't handle this. Ah, it's terrible.
Yeah.
Ah, it's terrible. It's
Yeah. So
terrible.
then
So,
he ended up, so she chose him. So she chose
mm,
him and they tried to work things out, and it's
yeah,
been quite the rocky road there. And then
yeah.
he
It
went
still
off.
is from what you just said. I
It's
mean, it's still up and down. I mean, you said we have a few good nights and then it goes back again. So they obviously do get together at some point and have that. And yeah, so
but she has to be his cheerleader. She has to, "Oh, Greg, what would you
yeah,
like? Would you like to go
yeah,
here?" It's completely like pacifying
yeah,
him. And then
yeah.
he falls for that and he feels like he's being
Subservience. That's what he
as
wants.
subservience to the degree. And then a few years back, he went into that. I think you and I had talked about this before. He got involved with. He was going to a gentleman's club and was with this prostitute, and
Yeah.
she got. It wasn't pretty at all. I mean, the
Lots of
family
stuff.
doesn't know
Lots of
this,
stuff. Lots of stuff.
Yeah,
A big
so
mess. A big mess. But hey, it starts with getting yourself sorted first. Her comment about him being broken also is significant in that she sees herself as broken too,
yeah, as
not
the
just him.
reflection in the mirror.
Yeah,
Yes.
correct, correct. It's just by implication. I'm broken and I'm getting fixed. She said that.
Yeah. No,
So
and I think
you're
she
not broken.
recognizes and wants to change. It's just never really knowing how. And her methodology is so sometimes aggressive and abrupt. It backfires on her
Yeah,
because
yeah,
there's no real tools for replacement. There aren't.
yeah. Oh, none, none. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And she doesn't know how to be. She's
Yeah.
completely lost in how to be. She's so desperately, earnestly good.
Yeah.
It's a mess. It's a mess. I really feel for her. It's a pity he's so tight because, if he had any sense, he'd pay for way of impeccability for her.
Oh, please.
Yeah,
Absolutely. When I think it was a back or a knee or something. I mean, he was angry that he had to pay the copay for her to go to therapy, physical therapy.
yeah,
I'm like, Greg, really? Come on. It's not that
yeah.
he doesn't have the money. It is his
Right.
way to get
Yeah,
back
yeah,
at her.
yeah. However, if he sees it in being in his self-interest, then he's happy to pay for it.
Yeah, but
In
that's
that mindset, usually, I mean, he spends on himself, right?
yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So if he sees this as doing it for himself, then he'll pay for it.
Mm. I see where you're going with that one. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that mindset,
Mhm.
My
But I
father
don't
was the same
know.
thing. He didn't spend anything on us kids and the family. But boy, when he wanted something, he quite happy to spend.
Yeah, no, he took care of Justin, and he has all this heavy equipment, and he just,
Yeah,
you
he's
know,
not a true miser. True misers resent spending money on anything.
no, he's
But
not a miser
he's quite happy to spend, but it has to be, for him. Has
for
to
him.
be in
His
some way.
Yeah, yeah. It's just a long drawn out. At one point he wanted a divorce. So this was 20 some years ago. He came to me, or no, she called me at work when I was working corporately and said, Suze, you have to help me out here. And this is again way before I knew boundaries and appropriate helping and all that other stuff. Here's a perfect example of what you don't do, you know. So he said, she goes, you have to help me. She says, I'm not in love with your brother anymore, and I want a divorce. You need to tell him that. Well, me and part of my family was going, yeah, yeah, yeah. Let's get the driftwood out of the family.
Shame, shame.
So I called him. He came over to our house and he brought little Justin. And Justin was small at the time. He was probably 10ish, you know.
Mm.
So we said, Justin, go downstairs. And he was beyond an adult, even at that age. But we sent him down the basement and we talked. And I said, listen, I don't know how else to say this to you, Greg, but this is the phone call I got from Cheryl. She wants a divorce. All she wants is $50,000. And to get it, we have to have an apartment near where you live so she can see Justin as often as possible. And
Wow.
his response was, okay, good. I'll do it. I said, you're getting off cheap here, buddy, because of all his
Yeah.
assets and things like that.
Yeah.
Well, Justin comes up later on and he says, I can fix this. I can help. I can fix this. Oh my God, my heart nearly broke. So I went back and I told Cheryl, I said, well, it's a done deal. I said, he said he'll take a divorce. She goes, did he fight for me? Sue, did he even like, you know, like it almost was like a test to see
Yeah.
how he would react. And then when
Yeah.
he didn't react the way she wanted him to, she was pissed off. I'm not fucking giving him a divorce. No. Oh my
Yeah.
God. But
Yeah.
and the
Yeah.
codependent
Wow.
just grew.
Yeah. Yeah. I suspect that that side of her isn't quite so prevalent anymore.
No, no.
Okay, good. Did she change significantly after jail, and how long was she in jail for?
It was a 4-year sentence,
Mm.
and she 2 of it, I think the last 2, she had to be on, with the ankle bracelet, and she got to
Yeah,
do
house arrest.
house
Okay,
arrest.
so she actually spent 2 years inside physical prison. Yeah,
General population. Yeah. And
that's long enough to make severe differences to you.
yeah, but in that process too, she was also, abused by the big female women in there, and
Yeah,
it wasn't pretty. Even the guards, she said, it's so fucking twisted in there, it's not even funny. And then one time she came back and they said that her urine was dirty, and it wasn't. She said, I did not drink or do nothing. And they put her in solitary confinement.
wow.
I,
For
I
how
mean,
long?
I don't remember. I don't remember, but the stories that she shares is, yeah, I don't think she tells many people, is just,
Did you notice change in her afterwards?
yes, the only thing was missing was there wasn't a deep sense of remorse about what had happened that she projected out there, because these 2 men, young, they were 30 years old, were driving together home from their common workplace, and she was in my brother's big pickup truck, a steak body truck, and she went in the other lane and hit them head on.
Wow.
They didn't die. They've both died since, but not, they couldn't pin that on them years later, that it was related to the accident, but the one was in a
Ah,
wheelchair for the rest of his life. The other one went blind and was,
wow.
I mean, it was
Are
they
they
were,
are they both dead now?
I believe they're both dead.
That's very interesting. Oh. But it's unrelated, apparently.
They couldn't say. I mean, they got, long-term injuries and so forth, and then the one had gotten cancer, but they couldn't make that connection that it was
Yeah,
because
correct,
of the
correct.
accident.
Yeah.
Um, 10 years later or whatever it was.
Oh.
Yes, she has changed, but the problem is she still drinks. I think
That's the other thing that is intriguing. After spending 2 years not drinking, apparently all sorts of stuff is available in prison.
yes, yeah, and that's what she said.
We
It's so
assume it's not available, but that's just an assumption,
there's drugs,
and
there's
it's not so. It's not so.
things.
Oh yeah, the whole range. So
Yeah.
we have to listen a little carefully. Yeah, she got involved with whoever, but it's if you're doing it so you can get your drink, it's a whole different thing than it being abusive.
Hmm. Yeah. She
We
was just
can't be blind to that. We can't be blind to say, hey, I want my booze. I'm an addict. I'll do whatever to get it, and that's the currency.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't
I
know
mean,
who.
unless you have external money coming in to pay for it, pay for it in other ways.
Hmm. Yeah.
So I'm not saying it is so. I'm just saying, these are the range. You have to be aware
Yeah,
of
yeah,
the full
yeah.
range of options. So,
Yeah.
it's interesting. So how do you feel she did change? No, no remorse, which is really interesting, or at least
No,
apparently so.
no verbal remorse, and that's what
Correct,
my
correct.
whole
Now
thing.
outward remorse. Correct.
Yeah, no outward remorse. I only ever heard her say that she felt sorry. She said it haunts me every day because they garnish
Mm,
her pay, as little as it is. They garnished her pay for years to give money to that family.
yeah.
Uh, uh, but
So
change,
that stopped now. That stopped. The garnishing has stopped.
yeah, because they're dead. Yeah, and it
Yeah.
didn't pass on to the family. Yeah, yeah. To the best of my knowledge, that's it's no longer being garnished. But uh, as far as change goes, she realizes what she did not only to herself but to the entire family,
Yeah.
and how they viewed her then, and how that she had to really try to show people she was changing. So for a long time she avoided the family, of course,
Yeah.
but she's just, this is who I am, type of a thing. Our only problem is that she her drinking, she thinks she has a control over it. No, does she drink or drug like she used to? No, not at all. But sh she's already had 3 more DUIs since she was in prison. And
Wow.
luckily, now my brother, this was a year ago, she where did she go? She met friends after work and went to the casino to celebrate somebody's birthday. She says, "I knew I shouldn't have driven home." Uh, or no, wait, no, was that it? Yeah, that was one of the times she said, "I knew I shouldn't have driven home, but I had to get up early and go to work." So she chanced it, and there was a sobriety check, and she got pulled over. So she got in trouble for that.
Wow.
Then she did another recent one where she was she doing there? Oh, her friend, who is one of the people who lives in one of their houses that she used to work with, said, "Oh, I don't have a ride home. My car's in the garage. Can you come to New Jersey?" So she's going into another state. She says, "Pick me up at 2 o'clock." She says, "And then we'll go back to my house." She said, "And we will make dinner." And she said, "We'll have some drinks." She said, "So can you please pick up some vodka?" And that was her big one of choice because you can't really
Yeah.
smell
Yeah.
it. So she picks up the vodka at the state store. She's early for picking her friend up at work. So she goes to a nearby park. She's on the phone with Candy Crush, and she has a big thing of iced tea or whatever it was from,
Oh.
Wawa or whatever. She reaches over, opens up the bottle of vodka and pours it in her face,
Oh my goodness.
and then sits there and plays Candy Crush. Before you know it, there's a knock on her window. Here the entire time, and she's always extremely perceptive of her surroundings.
Mm.
There was a cop sitting behind her.
Wow.
Saw everything she did. Or
Wow.
open up the bag, go in. So
Wow.
she didn't have a way out. He says, "What are you doing?"
Yeah.
And she realized that there was no way out.
Yeah.
So
But she hadn't started driving yet, or she actually started
she was
driving?
parked. She was parked, but it's
Yeah.
illegal to have an open container in the state of
Okay.
New Jersey.
Uh,
So in cuffs she went off to, so she hired a lawyer. They call him the DUI guy.
mm,
Found this guy. He was at risk of losing her license for 2 years and
wow.
going to prison for 6 months.
Mm.
My brother, once again, had to pay $7,000 for his fees. He got her off.
Wow.
He got,
Wow.
but this is where I said
Yeah.
he really should have went to jail. This
Yeah.
didn't teach her anything, you know.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then
I mean, how long is it if you continue this? How long is it before you do end up in jail?
exactly, the writing's on the
Just the
wall.
key, though. We have to understand, though, stupidity makes sense in context. Always look for the context in which stupidity makes sense.
Got you.
It's
Good point.
always in a bubble somewhere. What if that remorse is so strong, the guilt is so strong, the shame is so strong, particularly the guilt, that her going to jail, she feels that she deserves to go to jail again because she's still feeling guilty
Yes,
subconsciously. So you do things to put you back in jail.
get back in there. But the inappropriate part of it is she always finds a way to get it out and doesn't learn the real true lesson that's behind it. So
Yeah,
she
well,
got
it's,
off
yeah,
with she couldn't drive in the state of New Jersey for 30 days and got a $500 fine and a slap on the wrist.
wow,
I mean,
wow.
what any harm to I really love her in a very different way
Yeah,
because I know what's there. But Mama Mia, hopefully this is going to get her out of some of these
at least
loops.
a start. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, this is more than just this program, but still, it's a start.
yeah,
That you can at least see that, hey, there's a path to moreness here,
yeah,
and however it is, doing wave impeccability is critical.
yeah. Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. So we'll see. I mean, she's got a heart of gold, and once she's on your team, she is very loyal. She is very faithful.
Oh, she's got goodness coming out of just everywhere of her. She's got way more than she knows how to deal with, and that's the problem I feel. It is this inability to deal with her goodness that causes her anguish, anguish on top of anguish. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
look at how she's responding to this. And how do I do this? Come on.
yeah, yeah,
Also, the me of then and the me of now. That poem. Uh, Whenever opportune, we'll go over that.
good.
That making peace with your past. This is a big deal. This is a big
Yeah,
deal.
yeah. Because she has it.
The key.
It haunts her, and
Yeah,
every
yeah. The key.
opportunity, Greg is going to come in and throw that in her face somehow.
Yeah. But the key is the only way you can really, really put that to bed is by change.
Yeah,
When you change and you become a completely new person, he can throw it all he likes. Say, hey, I'm not that person anymore.
yeah. She
Sorry,
tries
I'm
to
not.
stand up for herself, but there's something about it. She just ends up falling prey. Because I said, why don't you fucking leave? What? Why? Why don't
Yeah,
you just end this misery?
yeah.
I don't think she feels that she could support herself. And
Oh, she can't probably. Yeah. Not easily or not conveniently. But if she gets her accountancy business and computer consulting, whatever, if she gets that, especially the accounting. This is a fabulous business, and easy to make, good income from it.
Yeah.
Especially if she knows like small company finance.
Mhm.
There's a lot of people who are, like we said, they're those LLCs, a small company,
Yeah.
private company, and they need this different taxing to a individual, and
Yeah.
they need people for that. But they don't want to go to the big firms because
No, that's what she's going
you
after, the small guys.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. But a lot of people they have their books. There's some fudging involved, and they don't want to go to H&R Block because it's exact. Like they
Yeah.
don't fudge it for you.
Cool.
So
But maybe this will be her ticket out. You know,
exactly.
I don't know. As much as my brother, acts like he doesn't want her there, he, it's scary to think of where he would go if it ended.
They both feel probably that no one else would want them,
Correct.
and they're probably right to a large extent.
Mhm. Yeah, because he has just as much
I
work to do.
mean, who's gonna move in with Greg? What woman in her right mind comes home? Okay, may go on a date and everything's nice. First time he brings her home, it's like, thank you, buddy, bye.
Yeah,
I'm out of here.
absolutely. There's nothing in the basement, it's full, but in their first floor
Oh, it's
area,
normal.
it's fairly normal. There's pockets here and there, and Cheryl does everything
Uh,
she can to not keep it. She's like, get it out
to
of this
manage it.
house.
Manage
Yeah,
it. So it's
he'll
not. So
clean
it's there, but it's not hugely obvious.
correct. Outside, with rock. He's a rock collector. I mean, we're talking boulders because he has equipment to pick them up, and he's a really good at placing them and making these walls and decorate. I mean, he's really talented. But that, and he picks up stuff from jobs and from the dump. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, 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 yeah.
It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be
It's
interesting.
gonna
But
be.
I do feel for Cheryl. I do feel for her.
I do. I do. I feel for both of them.
She's
I feel for both of
yeah,
them.
yeah. Same. I don't know Greg, but I see too. He's also struggling. So
Yeah,
we'll see. We'll get it to reshift this thing about having him involved, and just the terminology and the understanding. So
yeah, yeah. Mm, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Beliefs,
or you
beliefs,
can say I
beliefs.
was, looking back at the thing and you made this interesting grimace, when we talked about that, that'd be a way to bring it up without me knowing that I
Yeah,
said
yeah.
anything. So, but
Yeah,
alrighty,
things have a way of coming up themselves. So
absolutely. It'll
always
show
do.
up. It'll show up.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. And
yeah.
she speaks the truth. I mean, she doesn't hide much. Trust me, you'll wait till you hear. She's
Yeah, yeah,
lets it
yeah,
roll
yeah.
out.
And that's important. That's important. Yeah, yeah. No, I did see that. Her earnestness and her realness, it's there. It's there. It just doesn't know what to do with herself, which is, wow, it's pretty
Yeah.
amazing. No, we'll get
All
there.
right.
We'll
Yeah,
get
we'll
there.
get
I'm
there.
excited. I'm looking
All right.
forward to it. I'm looking forward to it.
All righty.
Brilliant. Brilliant.
Run.
Brilliant. All right,
Getting
Sue.
out.
Bye
So
bye. Bye bye. Bye
we'll
bye.
talk to you later.
All
I'll
right.
see you tomorrow.
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Bye bye. Bye
See
bye.
you.
Okay.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Bye for now.
Fantastic.
Good date. Bye bye.
Bye.
Yes. Bye bye. Very cool.